Welcome to Stoic Secrets. Today, we'll explore 8 powerful strategies grounded in Stoic philosophy to help you deal with people who don't show you respect. Life often introduces us to those who push our boundaries and challenge our patience, but the real strength lies in how we respond. Will you allow others to disturb your peace, or will you stand firm to protect your well-being? Share your thoughts in the comments. How do you handle disrespect? Do you confront, withdraw, or remain silent? Let's grow together by discussing these lessons. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're ready to embrace these Marcus Aurelius-inspired Stoic principles for personal growth and happiness. Let's dive in. 1. Set clear boundaries. The foundation of dealing with disrespectful people lies in setting clear boundaries, a core principle of modern Stoicism essential for inner peace. As Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Setting boundaries is not about staying passive, hoping others will eventually notice or change. It's about actively communicating what you'll tolerate and what you won't. This requires confidence and self-awareness because, without clear limits, people may continue to overstep, eroding your sense of self-worth. Respect isn't simply earned through kindness or patience. The reality is that people often respond to the standards we set. If we tolerate disrespect without consequence, we silently allow it to persist. I too have fallen into this trap, believing that being overly accommodating would earn respect. But kindness alone, without strength, often goes unappreciated. Modern Stoicism teaches us that self-sovereignty requires firm boundaries. Marcus Aurelius once noted, "A person's worth is measured by the worth of what they value." If we value respect, we must be willing to assert it, calmly but firmly. This isn't about aggression, but about clarity. Consider a colleague who consistently interrupts you. If left unaddressed, this will likely continue. Instead, take a stand. I value respect in conversations and need you to let me finish before responding. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but this temporary discomfort is far outweighed by the long-term benefit of upholding your self-respect. Each time we stand up for ourselves, we reinforce our self-worth, setting a standard for how others should treat us. Stoicism encourages us to handle these situations assertively, not aggressively, as calmness shows mastery over our emotions. By setting boundaries, we don't just protect our space, we signal that we take ourselves seriously. As Seneca advised, no man can have a peaceful life who thinks too much about lengthening it. Similarly, if we waste energy on those who disrespect us, we lose focus on the tranquility we seek. Navigating the fine line between assertiveness and aggression ensures control over both our actions and emotions. The essence of Stoicism lies in maintaining firmness without losing composure. Raising our voices or reacting with anger weakens our stance. Instead, a calm yet resolute response commands respect. Boundaries shape not only how others treat us, but also reflect our discipline and priorities. Self-respect naturally earns others' respect, and nothing demonstrates self-respect more than standing firm against disrespect. The discomfort of boundary setting eases with practice, while the benefits grow over time. Imagine telling a friend who regularly belittles you, "I enjoy our time together, but those comments are something I can't accept." This statement reshapes your dynamic, ensuring future interactions align with your values. In modern Stoicism, boundaries are more than just barriers. They're frameworks that shape how we live. By defining boundaries, we claim ownership of our emotional well-being. Though challenging, standing up for ourselves cultivates inner peace, freeing us from others' whims. When confrontation is unavoidable, whether with a boss or a relative who disregards our wishes, our actions should reflect dignity and self-respect. Setting boundaries reinforces a crucial lesson. Respect is earned, not demanded, and it starts within. If we want respect from others, we must first respect ourselves by upholding our principles. Each boundary we enforce aligns us closer with our true selves. Remember, not everyone will welcome our boundaries, and that's fine. The goal isn't to please everyone, but to preserve our peace and integrity. Embrace the discomfort of asserting yourself today to gain lasting respect tomorrow. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca reminds us that life's trials test our character, pushing us to decide if we'll let external forces determine our worth, or if we'll stay true to our values. Managing others begins with managing ourselves. Modern Stoicism urges us to stay grounded, avoiding emotional or aggressive reactions. Instead, we respond with composed clarity, demonstrating both strength and wisdom. Setting boundaries may not change others immediately, but it shifts our self-perception, sparking genuine transformation. By taking control of how others treat you, you lay the groundwork for personal growth, happiness, and a life defined by inner peace. 2. Don't engage in power struggles. Here's a fundamental truth. People who disrespect you often thrive on power dynamics. They know exactly how to push your buttons, drawing you into arguments, not to resolve anything, but to disrupt your control. When you become defensive or upset, you've given them what they sought: power over your emotions. Engaging in these power struggles drains your energy, distracting you from what matters most: your peace of mind. Modern Stoicism teaches us to stay calm and indifferent to disrespect. This doesn't mean allowing mistreatment. It means understanding that you control your reactions, not theirs. Picture a scenario where a colleague dismisses your idea in a meeting. The urge to respond sharply is strong, but imagine if instead you paused, took a breath, and responded calmly, saying, "I see your point, but here's why my idea holds value." If they persist, you end the conversation, knowing your calmness has left them without further leverage. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every rude comment deserves a response. When you engage with someone who disrespects you, you give them access to your mind. In a competitive world, people may test your boundaries to see how you'll react, but they only hold the power you grant them. Disengaging doesn't mean staying silent. It means saying enough to hold your ground without indulging in drama. A simple, "I'm not going to argue about this," followed by walking away is powerful, preserving your peace and signaling that you won't be drawn into manipulation. As Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This mindset builds resilience, shielding you from petty provocations. Think of heated online debates or family gatherings where someone makes a disrespectful remark. Stoicism teaches us that real strength is in self-mastery, not in controlling others. Walking away from futile power struggles isn't weakness, it's a victory over emotional reactions. Over time, these provocations lose their sting, as your dignity becomes rooted in how you conduct yourself, not in others' opinions. Next time someone attempts to provoke you, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If not, disengage gracefully, valuing your peace of mind over proving a point. As Seneca said, the greatest power is often simple patience. Refusing to engage not only preserves mental energy, but also shows others that their disrespect cannot touch you. This is Stoicism's core, remaining unaffected by every slight because your worth isn't defined by anyone else's approval. By embracing this mindset, you develop a resilient mind, focused on what truly matters, your inner peace. 3. Limit your exposure to them. Sometimes the best way to handle people who don't respect you is to limit your exposure to them. While certain relationships like those with colleagues, neighbors, or even family members are hard to avoid entirely, you still control how much of your time, energy, and emotional space they consume. Stoicism teaches us that protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's essential for a balanced life. As Seneca observed, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Much of our suffering stems from letting the wrong people occupy too much space in our minds and lives. Confrontation isn't always the answer when someone disrespects you. Sometimes the key lies in limiting the energy you invest in such relationships. This shift is subtle, but profound. You don't need to announce that you're stepping back. Just quietly reduce your engagement. In today's world, we often feel trapped by obligations. Maybe there's a negative coworker whose presence sours every conversation, or a friend who constantly dismisses your opinions, leaving you feeling small. While you might think, I can't avoid them, I have to see them every day, you can still limit interactions to necessary topics and keep conversations strictly professional. Outside of work, if a relationship doesn't serve your well-being, consider declining social invitations or reducing small talk. Spend your energy instead with those who uplift you and share your values. Take the story of David, a friend of mine, as an example. For years, he attended weekly family gatherings where a relative constantly belittled his career. Though David initially tolerated it, over time, he realized that these gatherings brought him more dread than joy. David finally decided that if a relationship drained more energy than it gave, it was time to limit it. He began attending only significant family events. With reduced exposure to this toxic relative, David felt lighter and more at peace, showing how impactful it is to set quiet limits on relationships that drain you. The beauty of this Stoic approach is that you don't have to justify or explain your decisions to anyone. Those who thrive on conflict expect a response, and by withholding it, you deny them the control they seek. You're not cutting ties entirely. Instead, you're controlling how much space they occupy in your life, like adjusting a radio's volume. You can lower the noise without shutting it off completely. Protecting your emotional space isn't avoidance. It's about preserving your mental clarity to focus on what matters. Every moment spent with someone who disrespects you is a moment taken from those who respect and uplift you. The more you limit exposure to negativity, the more room you make for positive relationships to grow. Are there people in your life who drain you? Imagine if you allowed yourself to pull back even just a little. Limiting exposure isn't about dodging conflict. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are finite resources. The peace you guard today strengthens you for tomorrow. Seneca advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Life is too short to waste on relationships that diminish your spirit. By quietly setting these boundaries, you not only protect yourself, but also model self-respect for others. It's a subtle yet powerful way of saying, "This is how I expect to be treated." In the end, limiting exposure to disrespectful people is more than a strategy. It's a form of self-care. By choosing where and with whom you spend your energy, you reclaim control over your life and safeguard your inner peace. Stoicism teaches that we can't control others' behavior, but we can choose how we respond. Sometimes the best response isn't confrontation, it's creating distance. This isn't about shutting doors entirely, but deciding which are worth stepping through. So, when you find yourself drained by someone's behavior, ask, is this relationship worth my peace? If not, allow yourself to pull back, creating room for the relationships that truly matter. Thank you for spending time with us here at Stoic Secrets. If you found value in this video, share your thoughts in the comments. Whether it's a personal experience, a takeaway, or simply saying, "I am Stoic." Your interaction helps build this community and inspires us to continue bringing you more empowering content. If you haven't already, tap that subscribe button and enable notifications to stay updated on our latest videos. Let's keep growing together, step by step, with Stoic wisdom guiding the way. 4. Respond with silence. Not every conflict is worth your energy, and not every rude comment deserves a response. Silence can be one of your most powerful responses, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Often, those who disrespect you are looking to provoke a reaction, hoping to gain control over your emotions. By choosing silence, you deny them this satisfaction, protecting your peace. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Responding with silence demonstrates strength, self-discipline, and a refusal to engage in meaningless conflict. This doesn't mean you're avoiding the issue. It means you're refusing to let it control you. This choice to stay silent shifts the power back to you, leaving others to face the discomfort of their own words. Consider a familiar scenario, a heated discussion with a colleague or family member, where someone makes a rude comment to provoke you. The urge to defend yourself might be strong, but instead, if you pause, breathe, and let the moment pass in silence, your restraint speaks volumes. It shows that your peace matters more than winning an argument. This aligns with Epictetus's teaching. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By choosing silence, you break the cycle of conflict, showing that others don't dictate your behavior. In a world of quick responses and public arguments, silence is a powerful tool for maintaining peace. Whether it's a disrespectful remark from a coworker or a heated comment online, your silence allows you to retain control, avoiding unnecessary battles. Silence doesn't just protect you from impulsive responses, it also allows time for reflection. In moments of anger, impulsive words can escalate situations. By pausing, you create space to see the situation clearly, embodying the Stoic value of inner stillness. As Seneca noted, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." Silence holds a mirror up to others, often prompting them to reflect on their actions more than an argument ever could. Remember, silence is not avoidance or passivity. It's a choice not to let disrespect control you. There's wisdom in knowing when silence is your strongest response. Stoicism teaches that peace doesn't come from controlling others, but from mastering oneself. Through silence, you practice this mastery, cultivating peaceful relationships and inner resilience. 5. Don't take it personally. It's natural to feel hurt when someone disrespects you, especially when their actions seem to target your character or choices. But one of the most liberating Stoic principles is not taking things personally. Though challenging in the moment, the disrespectful behavior of others often reveals more about their frustrations, insecurities, and struggles than about you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment." This perspective invites you to see that disrespect doesn't reflect your worth, but the other person's inner turmoil. Separating their behavior from your value is where true strength lies. Think of a time when harsh words made you doubt yourself, perhaps a snide remark from a colleague or a passive-aggressive comment from a friend. It's easy to overanalyze, replaying these moments and wondering what you did wrong. This cycle can make us feel responsible for others' treatment. Yet Stoicism teaches that peace of mind doesn't rely on others' opinions. Their rudeness or negativity often comes from their insecurities. By not internalizing their disrespect, you reclaim your emotional freedom. This mindset shift is key. Others don't determine your worth, you do. Their actions belong to them, while your peace depends on your response. When someone disrespects you, ask, "Is this really about me, or something unresolved in them?" Often their behavior has little to do with you and stems from personal frustrations or fears. Whatever it is, it's their burden, not yours. This understanding leads to an equanimous mind, one that stays steady even amid external negativity. Choosing not to take things personally unlocks a powerful freedom. You stop investing energy in things beyond your control, aligning with Stoic principles. Epictetus reminds us, "It is not things that upset us, but our judgment about things." How you interpret someone's behavior is what gives it meaning. Viewing their disrespect as a reflection of their struggles rather than your worth allows the emotional sting to fade, leaving you with peace. This doesn't mean ignoring all feedback. Constructive criticism can be valuable. However, it does mean filtering out unhelpful noise. Not every rude comment deserves your attention. One of Stoicism's greatest lessons is learning to let go of what doesn't belong to you. 6. Walk away when necessary. Sometimes the most powerful and courageous choice you can make is to walk away. This is one of the hardest yet most essential lessons in Stoicism. Disrespect, when tolerated too long, doesn't just sting in the moment. It gradually erodes your self-esteem and undermines your mental health. Stoicism teaches us to guard our well-being like a fortress, choosing carefully what we allow into our lives and minds. When we stay in environments filled with toxicity, negativity, and disrespect, these experiences begin to shape our thoughts, leaving us feeling restless, unhappy, and disconnected from who we truly want to be. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness, it's a declaration of self-worth. It's a way of affirming, I won't allow anyone to treat me this way. This principle applies to all areas of life. Perhaps you're in a friendship where the other person constantly undermines you, or a workplace where your contributions are overlooked and disrespect is the norm. You might think, but I've known them for so long. Or, I need this job. What choice do I have? These thoughts are understandable, yet they can also keep you stuck in situations that no longer serve your growth. Walking away doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing yourself. It's not about making a grand exit or burning bridges, but about quietly and intentionally removing yourself from situations that diminish your peace. This could mean ending a toxic friendship, setting firm boundaries with difficult family members, or simply walking out of a conversation when respect is absent. In each instance, the act of walking away is a victory, a choice to protect your dignity and prioritize your mental health. Consider a story from my friend James, who spent years working at a company where his boss frequently disrespected him in front of colleagues. No matter how hard James tried to prove himself, his efforts were dismissed or ridiculed. He thought that if he just kept working hard, things might improve, but they didn't. Each day, the disrespect wore him down, leaving him doubting his abilities and questioning his worth. One day, after a particularly demeaning comment, James realized he couldn't control how his boss treated him, but he could choose whether or not to stay. So, with quiet confidence, he decided to leave. It wasn't an easy decision, but as soon as he walked away, a weight lifted from his shoulders. That act of leaving was his way of reclaiming his self-worth, and soon after, he found a new job where he was valued and respected. For James, walking away wasn't the end of his story. It marked the beginning of a much better one. The choice to walk away from disrespectful situations is not surrender. It's a profound act of self-respect. James's story highlights that leaving can be the most courageous step in preserving our dignity. Walking away is about recognizing when the cost of staying outweighs the value of the relationship or environment. This principle echoes Seneca's wisdom. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. Life is too short to spend in places that rob you of joy and self-respect. Walking away isn't always about physically leaving. Sometimes it means emotionally disengaging from people or situations that don't deserve your energy. Perhaps you can't leave a job immediately, but you can set emotional boundaries, refusing to internalize insults and detaching from toxic dynamics. Or maybe you can't cut ties with a family member, but you can limit interactions and avoid conversations that drain you. Whether physical or emotional, the act of walking away reflects a commitment to safeguarding your peace and building resilience against negativity. This choice also communicates to others how you expect to be treated. When you refuse to tolerate disrespect, you set a standard for future interactions. People begin to see that your time and energy are valuable, and that you won't waste them on relationships or environments misaligned with your values. This aligns with one of Stoicism's core teachings, knowing when to engage and when to step back. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Walking away from disrespect isn't just about removing negativity. It's about making room for better things. It's about choosing growth, peace, and self-respect over conflict and struggle. The act of walking away is a deeply empowering Stoic lesson, reminding you that you aren't defined by how others treat you, but by how you treat yourself. Walking away isn't about giving up. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you. It's a way of saying, I am not defined by how others treat me, but by how I treat myself. So, next time you find yourself in a situation where disrespect is the norm, ask, is staying here worth my peace? If the answer is no, give yourself permission to walk away, not in anger, but with quiet confidence. Choosing yourself is not just a decision, it's a declaration of your worth. And when you walk away from what diminishes you, you open the door for people, opportunities, and experiences that bring joy and align with your values. That, in itself, is one of life's greatest victories. 7. Surround yourself with supportive people. Dealing with disrespect is exhausting. It drains not only your energy, but also your self-worth. One of the most powerful Stoic lessons is to surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. Those who remind you of your inherent value, no matter what negativity you encounter. While we can't control how others treat us, we can choose the company we keep. As Marcus Aurelius noted, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And these thoughts are often shaped by the people around us. Constant exposure to disrespect or negativity can make it easy to internalize that treatment and start doubting your worth. However, by intentionally building a circle of supportive people, you create a buffer, a source of strength to help you handle life's challenges with grace. A strong support system acts as a mirror, reflecting your worth back to you when the world tries to make you feel small. Consider the times when you felt drained by toxic environments, perhaps at work with a difficult boss, or in a personal relationship where respect was lacking. During such times, the people you surround yourself with can either pull you down or lift you up. I recall a close friend, Paul, who stayed too long in a toxic job because he thought he had no other choice. His boss constantly belittled his efforts, and over time, Paul began to believe the problem was with him. It wasn't until he turned to his supportive friends, those who valued him, that he realized he didn't have to stay. Their encouragement gave him the courage to leave and pursue a healthier path. This is the power of surrounding yourself with the right people. They see your worth when you struggle to see it yourself. This principle aligns with modern Stoicism, focusing on what you can control. While you can't control others' disrespect, you can control how much time and energy you spend with those who uplift you. Stoicism teaches that inner strength is cultivated by aligning your thoughts and actions with virtue, and being around supportive people helps you stay on that path. It's not just about avoiding negativity. It's about actively choosing relationships that nurture your growth. Whether it's family members who remind you of your strengths, friends who encourage your goals, or mentors who offer wisdom, these relationships act as anchors, keeping you grounded when life feels overwhelming. In modern life, many of us juggle demanding jobs, family responsibilities, and personal challenges, making it easy to overlook the importance of community. But, as iron sharpens iron, we need people who challenge us to grow and help us build resilience. These relationships are not just comforting. They provide the perspective needed to walk away from toxic situations with confidence. A core Stoic lesson is that your value isn't tied to how others treat you, but to how you treat yourself. One way to honor yourself is by choosing companions who respect and uplift you. When you make room for these relationships, you cultivate an environment where you can thrive. Surrounding yourself with supportive people isn't just about seeking comfort in hard times. It's about building meaningful connections during good times, too. The people in your circle should challenge, inspire, and hold you accountable, helping you stay true to your principles. Seneca put it simply, associate with people who are likely to improve you. These relationships are investments in your mental and emotional well-being, shaping how you see yourself and respond to life's challenges. Just as you gain support from others, you also have the opportunity to offer encouragement, reinforcing relationships built on mutual respect and trust. When you're surrounded by people who care about your well-being, you develop the inner strength to walk away from disrespect without guilt or hesitation. You stop feeling the need to prove your worth to those who cannot see it. With a strong support system, you move through life with confidence, knowing your value is not determined by others' opinions. This is one of Stoicism's core truths. Peace comes from within, but a strong support system helps you maintain that peace. As Epictetus advised, he who associates with fools will learn nothing. By spending time with people aligned with your values, you protect your inner peace and cultivate the strength to face life's challenges. Take a moment to evaluate your circle. Are there connections that need strengthening, or perhaps some that need to be let go? Walking away from toxic people becomes easier when you know you are surrounded by those who genuinely care for you. Remember, the goal is not isolation, but building meaningful connections that uplift you and support the life you want to live. Modern Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, but the right people help you find that strength when you feel lost. Your value is not defined by others' treatment of you, but by how you treat yourself and the company you keep. By surrounding yourself with those who encourage, inspire, and respect you, you lay the foundation for a life grounded in peace and resilience. When you face disrespect, you'll know you have a circle of support to lean on, a reminder that you're never alone on your journey toward inner peace and growth. Surround yourself with those who see your worth, and you'll find it easier to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't. This is one of the great Stoic secrets. Choose your companions wisely, and you'll build the strength to live by your values, regardless of what life brings. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below if today's video inspired you, even if it's just to say, "I am Stoic." Your engagement helps build this community and inspires others on their journey to inner peace. 8. Respect starts from within. How others treat you says a lot about their character, but how you respond shows your level of self-respect. This idea lies at the heart of modern Stoicism. Respect begins from within. The way you handle disrespect, whether by setting firm boundaries, walking away from toxic situations, or responding with silence, demonstrates the value you place on yourself. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The way you think about yourself and the standards you set in your interactions guide how others will treat you. You deserve kindness and dignity, but it's up to you to teach others how to treat you by showing them what you will and will not tolerate. In a fast-paced world where disrespect can come from colleagues, friends, or even family, it's easy to believe that mistreatment reflects a flaw within you. Yet Stoic principles teach us to detach from this mindset. Others' behavior reflects their own inner struggles, not your worth. The real question isn't whether others respect you, but whether you respect yourself enough to enforce your standards. How often do we accept disrespect just to avoid conflict? Maybe we stay silent when a friend makes a hurtful joke, or tolerate rude behavior from a colleague because it's not worth making a fuss. But each time you allow someone to treat you poorly without consequence, you lower the standard for how you deserve to be treated. True self-respect requires action. Boundaries aren't just hoped for, they must be set. I once knew someone named Stephen, a respected manager with a challenging team member who constantly undermined him, interrupted him in meetings, and spread negativity. For months, Stephen endured it, hoping his kindness and patience would eventually earn respect. But over time, the disrespect only intensified, leaving Stephen stressed and frustrated. Finally, he embraced one of Stoicism's core lessons. Respect begins within. He called a meeting, set clear boundaries, and communicated the consequences of further disrespect. This wasn't about anger. It was about protecting his peace and well-being. Once Stephen took control, the dynamic shifted. The difficult team member adjusted their behavior, and Stephen emerged with his dignity intact, having set a new standard for how he expected to be treated. This story shows a universal truth. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. Modern Stoicism reminds us that we can define what's acceptable in our relationships. If someone fails to meet your standard of respect, it doesn't reflect your value. It's a sign to enforce boundaries or walk away. When you control how others treat you, you reclaim your peace and free yourself from trying to earn respect from those unwilling to give it. As Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastering yourself means refusing to tolerate anything that diminishes your worth. Self-respect also means setting boundaries with yourself. This involves learning to say no to thoughts and behaviors misaligned with who you want to be. If you constantly seek approval or let others' opinions dictate your worth, it's time to realign with your values. An iron mind, built on Stoic principles, stands firm in the face of disrespect and knows that worth isn't negotiable. It's something you cultivate within. When you respect yourself deeply, you naturally attract relationships that mirror that respect. Modern Stoicism teaches that our peace is non-negotiable and that we are responsible for defending it. Whether you set a boundary, respond with calm silence, or walk away, the power lies in understanding that your worth isn't defined by how others treat you, but by how you treat yourself. If someone can't offer kindness and respect, the most respectful thing you can do is walk away. This choice isn't about anger. It's about living according to your values, free from others' influence. Ultimately, the lesson is simple yet profound. Respect begins within. When you carry yourself with dignity, you set a standard for how others will treat you, and those unable to meet it naturally fade away. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The strength to demand respect, the courage to walk away, and the wisdom to know that your worth is not debatable, all come from within. This is the essence of Stoicism, taking control of your inner world so that no outside force can disturb your peace. Living with self-respect, guided by Stoic principles, means that relationships and situations that no longer serve you will naturally fade, making space for those that align with your values. Thank you for watching and exploring these Stoic principles with us. Handling disrespect isn't easy, but by applying these insights, whether it's setting boundaries, responding with silence, walking away, or surrounding yourself with supportive people, you regain control of your peace and well-being. Modern Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes from self-mastery, and every step you take to protect your dignity strengthens that inner resilience. Remember, your value isn't tied to how others treat you. It's defined by how you treat yourself. The way you carry yourself and the standards you set show the world that you are worthy of respect, and people will respond to those standards over time. If this video resonated, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from these reminders. We all encounter disrespect, and these Stoic lessons can help us rise above it. Let's build a community of strength, respect, and resilience, where we lift each other up and live by Stoic principles of peace and self-mastery. Your journey toward self-respect is one worth sharing, and by spreading these ideas, you're part of something bigger, a movement toward a more intentional, peaceful life. If these messages resonate, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to Stoic Secrets for more insights on applying modern Stoicism to everyday life. Turn on notifications so you won't miss our next video, where we'll continue exploring Stoic lessons to help you build an iron mind and face life's challenges with clarity and confidence.